Hi there. Today's test is going to be a all carbon version of the zinc manganese dioxide cell. We're using the same material from the other experiment, but this time we're going to have two graphite collector plates, and I'll put it together. They've been soaking in electrolyte since the last time. The manganese dioxide 3 layers are on the top and the homemade carbon's at the bottom. So quite a fat cell with all the equipment under it. Alright. Connect it up. I don't know what it's going to be like. May not even work. Alright, it's looking like it's reversed. Perhaps the carbon's the other way around. Manganese is on the other side, maybe. Alright, we're at 0.29 volts. Okay, so far. Oh, where's my towel? Alright, what's the... Yeah, we're going to use the data logger to charge it up so we can see the power curve, so we know we're not going to put too much power into it. Alright. Okay, what's going on there? This says there's oh no, it's 0.1 volt. Yeah, it's actually higher on the multimeter. Alright, I'll connect the power supply to the data logger. Okay, we got 2.4 as the charge. I'm going to put it down a bit. I suppose we'll keep it that, because that's what the zinc cell was charged at. And we'll do a monitor. Okay, we're only like 70 milliamps. Oh yeah, it's decreasing slowly. We'll do a 2-minute charge and then we'll do a run. At the moment it looks like we can still keep going. It's dropping slowly. Okay, we're at 2 minutes. I'll rearrange the leads on the data logger. The cell's voltage is going down, it's 1.7. Alright, we're at 1.6 volts on the multimeter. Alright, I'm connected. Yep. We'll do a oh, I better stop it from monitoring. Alright, now we'll do a discharge, 30 milliamp load, cutoff voltage 0.49. Not sure where this is going to take us, we'll find out. Well, it's not looking too bad for all carbon, and they're old plates. They were sitting in that electrolyte for a couple of days now. It's just a test. I really want to try out the goo again. Try that in comparison, but I'll give this a longer charge, and I'll have a motion slow-mo time lapse of the charge curve. So still holding 1 volt. Not too bad actually. Wonder where this cell's going to degrade. I'm pretty sure in the zinc one, well, the cell was left out for a couple of days, but I checked the resistance in some areas, it's very high. See how it's got that little coating around it? But that could have just dried and went gunky like that. Probably needed more time, but the possibility is this plate is oxidizing up. So I guess you could still call this a zinc cell, even though it's all carbon, but the electrolyte is a zinc-based electrolyte. We're going to get our 2 minutes. Forgot to put the phone in airplane mode. Got a call. It only lasted for 3 minutes, but that was a 2-minute charge, and we actually 2 milliwatt hours in that time. So I'll disconnect that. Oh, and we're slowly dropping in voltage still. So I'll hook up the charge. We'll give it a longer charge, and I'll have it on capture, time lapse, and we can gauge for how long we can charge the cell for. Hopefully we'll keep the same voltage we were on. Oh, I'll put that back on. Right. Okay, got the charge connected. We're at 2.3, and I'll do the motion capture. Okay, we're at 15 minutes, it just passed, probably closing in to 16 minutes, and it looks like it's been holding. Oh no, it still is decreasing slightly, but we'll call it that because the other ones were 15 minutes. So I'll just connect all the leads and go to another time lapse of a discharge at 30 milliamps. Oops, I'll stop the monitor. Okay, before we do the time lapse of the discharge, we're holding 1.8 volts, slowly dropping. Now we're dropping really quickly. every time I say about the voltage. I'll set up a discharge and we'll see how it goes. Okay, missed that by a bit. What did we get? We got 16 minutes. Not too bad really, and I guess you got to see the voltage bounce back, which seems to be holding at 1.3. It was dropping earlier. Oh, and 8 milliwatts. That's down from the zinc cell by heaps. Could be due to that electrolyte being weak, but the other ones were in there too, so all the same ones. I'll give it a couple of more charges and see what happens. I'll show the results afterwards. Somewhat missed this one, and I'm back at 23 minutes, nearly 24 minutes nearly. So I'll just stop the monitor, disconnect the charge, and I'll swap leads over. So 24-minute charge, and it's at 1.9 volts running the load. Oh, this is our power charge curve. Sort of goes down slightly, but not much, considering around about 15 minutes is probably okay. Could be 20, we'll see how it goes. Our voltage is dropping as we speak. Only 29 degrees, 5 o'clock nearly. Mild day. Okay, I'll let this run and see what we get. Okay, time this one well. We just finished. 23 minutes and only 10 milliwatt hours. We're still down from the zinc cell. The voltage bounce back isn't too bad now. And for a short circuit, okay, shorting 30, 50, hang on, I'll connect it. 57 milliwatts on a short, seems to be high, and we'll connect the motor and see what happens. It drops heaps here. So what we'll do now is like we did with the other one, we'll add some extra, this other electrolyte here, which is slightly stronger. I'll just give it a stir. We did that very first up on the zinc cell though. I think I did. Alright, we'll just pull it apart. Still wet in there. heavy-handed then. Okay, we're at 1 volt. Oh, everyone missed that one. Oh well, I just put electrolyte on every layer. Short circuit, 27 milliamps, somewhat less. Connected, yeah. Doesn't run, it just runs the motor. Okay. Alright, I'll give it another 15-minute charge, thereabouts, and see what happens. Need to try to keep that up right. There we go. I'll be back. Oh, hang on. I'll set it up. The third charge, this is quite longer. It's 44 minutes at the moment. We've managed to take it down to 20 milliamps. We're at 2.2 charge voltage, and that's been sitting there for about 10 minutes or so, I reckon. So I'll disconnect the charge. Okay, we're dropping in voltage. We'll connect the data logger. Okay, we should have voltage. Whoops, better just turn monitor off. Alright, we'll give it a run. Got to have around about 10 milliamps or more, and it's probably looking okay. Later tomorrow, when it dries out, I'm going to apply the other electrolyte I have in here to only 2 layers. I'll make it a 2-layer cell and start from there. Alright, I'll let that run and I'll get back. Okay, it ran for 32 minutes, we've missed it. Bounced back to 1.3 and it delivered 13 milliwatt hours after the 44 minute charge. So a little bit about the same ballpark. We'll give it another. I'll charge it up and discharge it and save the curves and post them at the end of the video. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, this one is the 5th charge curve, and we're at 17 minutes, and we're sort of stuck at 26 milliamps. I'm wondering if we increase the voltage now, will the milliamps decrease again? So I'll push up the voltage. Oh, not that high. Oh yeah, it went to 400. We're at 4 volts. 400 milliamps. Well, that sort of wrecked the graph, didn't it? I wasn't expecting that. And that's enough. Oh, I'll put the charge back. About there. Alright. I'll set up a discharge curve for this one. Oh, disconnecting. 2.2. Okay, this was that one where we gave it a higher charge. Somewhat a little bit higher. It's 10 milliwatt hours. It's just finished. I think I know what's happening here. It cuts all load off to readjust its to get its 30 milliamps. And when it does that, these cells have a tendency to bounce back with their voltage quite quickly. So it keeps doing that until it can find a stable zone. That's what I believe it is. So it's 1.1 volts now. It did start off at 0.4 volts originally. Alright, I'm going to try a slightly higher charge and see what the curve is like. I'll be back, I'll post that. It's 3.2 volt, I just started. We're only like not even 1 minute in. Gives us 230 milliamps. So we'll see what this performs, if it does do anything different. It's got a lot of membranes to get through. Every layer of the active material has got separator in it. So we'll see. It's still pretty wet, the cell, so till then. A slight observation. With the increased voltage, it went up to, it started off at like 230 or something, and then it rapidly went down to around about 167, but the gap between those two values is around about 60 milliamps, which is what we sort of had when we started off on a low voltage. So increasing the voltage doesn't actually put any extra sort of stuff through that cell by the looks of it. It just balances itself out with the higher values, which means more heat, because I can hear it crackling now a little bit. So we have probably theoretically increased the charge time, reduced it, but the capacity is no much more than it would have been under a smaller voltage. Hazard note, I think. Seems like match. So we're at 6 minutes, we'll stop that because it's not, oh. I'll give it a little bit longer and see how, because it's still dropping a little bit. So we'll go maximum. Alright, until then. It just did something weird there. I think it jumped in voltage and then lifted up that milliamps. And it's still declining though. We started off at 6, where I was thinking it's not going to decline anymore. 6 minutes that was, and we're at 11. So I'm going to give it to 15 if we're still dropping. We drop one every nearly a minute or more. See, it's still dropping. That's a bit different to what it was on a lower charge. Could be heat. I'll check the cell temp. It's 27. Environment's 31. 30 on the electrode. That must have been on the, what was that on? Must be, it's 30. I think I got the steel block. That must have been a false reading. reading 29-30 everywhere. So ambient temperature, 1 reading, 2. Not above ambient. Oh, what happened to the charge curve? What? Wasn't looking. Oh, I think the voltage level jumped up and it readjusted the scale. Maybe? We'll get back in 3 minutes. I bumped it when checking the temperature and it dropped right down. So I think we'll call it there. 21 minutes on a high charge. I'll get back later on the run on this one. So this was charge number 5, or no, number 6. Okay, we're sitting high in voltage. That took about 2 or 3 minutes. The charge is disconnected, and we'll do a test. This was the charge number 6. We're discharging now. We had it set on 3 volts. Okay, somewhat different. So maybe whatever I said before was just pointless, because it actually right now looks quite good. All theories still. Actually, it's the best battery this cell has performed tonight, I think. We'll give it a minute. If we're still above some value. I think the average is about 1 volt for till 5 minutes, and that's it normally. Looks like we're dropping faster now. Curve's getting steeper. Okay, I'll get back. Well, it's looking like that supercharge did something to this cell. We're at 12 minutes and we're 1 volt. Well, I got the power source off. Weird. But I also lifted that collector plate off of that, so that might have had something to do with it. But I don't think that 3 volt charge went astray. Wonder how many times that cell can handle that. Probably not many. It was popping a little bit, not all the time, but every, say, 2 minutes, maybe less. We're at 9 milliwatts now. It might have dissipated most of its energy in the less time as well. So we'll see. We're normally getting 20 minutes. We're at 14 now, 0.9. Alright, till then. Okay, we're coming up to the end of it nearly, I guess. 36 minutes at 18 milliwatt hours. Alright, so I'm going to try the same voltage around about the same time again. I think it was 17 minutes. Yeah, we won't get much more out of that cell. Alright, I'll set up the next one and maybe report back if it's looking good. Or I'll post the chart. The seventh charge is breaking records. We're at 9 minutes, 1.5 volts and 9 milliwatt hours already. This is the opposite to the zinc cell. The zinc cell is losing over charging. This one's gaining strength. I got a theory why. We'll have a look when we pull the cell apart. The theory's probably invalid if it's still valid cell tomorrow. I'll get back. Charge number 7 still. It's at 27 minutes. We're at 19 milliwatt hours already and 0.8 volts. Somewhat holds a lot of voltage. Stays there for a while. This will be the last charge. It's 9:58. So we'll continue tomorrow sometime, and I'll do a charge tomorrow without adding any electrolyte, and we'll just leave it out in the open here, see what happens. It's matching the zinc cell pretty well now, but better because it hasn't died. This is the 7th discharge. We're losing power by the 3rd one in the zinc cell. But when we look at one of the carbon plates, we might discover there's zinc being plated onto it. Maybe. Most likely at 3 volts. Well, that would explain longer run times. One of the carbon plates' surface area is increasing every time we charge it for a while until it hits a point where there's nothing left in the solution, maybe. Don't know. Alright, I'll get back when this discharges. Okay, we're coming up to the end of number 7 discharge. It's 27 milliwatt hours, 49 minutes this time. So this is the last one for tonight, and then I'll do a couple tomorrow without adding any electrolyte to see what it looks like. Or probably one, depends if we can get past that one. And we'll see if it's got the same. We'll keep the same voltage. It's about 3.2 or something volts for charge. I won't touch the dial or anything. There we go. We cut out. And we're still getting pretty good voltage bounce back. And we'll check the short circuit. Okay, short circuiting 70 after that time, and it runs the motor probably. Yeah, about the same. Anything under 30 milliamps, it's nearly flat. Okay, till tomorrow. Hi there, it's the next day after the construction of the all-carbon cell. This is its first charge. I've added the remainder of the electrolyte because the cell is completely dry. It's 10 to 3 and it's still about 30 degrees, been like that for a couple of days. And we'll disconnect the charge. Oh, first, I don't know what's going on here with all this wiggities, and sort of went up and down around here. So it's definitely a different charge curve today. Alright, so disconnecting the charge. And we're about 2 volts and going down. I'll set up the leads for a discharge. lose our voltage there. Got to plug it into the other end of the data logger. Okay, right, yeah, we're hooked up. Oh, I forgot to turn monitor off. Alright, same deal. We got 30 milliamp load and cutoff voltage 0.49. We're still looking good by the looks of it. If the cell never dries out, the cell may work. So it hasn't dropped down past the 2 yet, so that's good. I've been working on a waterproof top cell. I've got iridite all over the back of this carbon and copper and along the front edge there. This bit's stuck to the glass, nearly lost the whole thing, it snapped it off. Could have been worse, could have broke it right along there. Would have been spewing. So hopefully that makes this cell watertight up to here. And I'll be able to try it in the liquid tubs. I've got 2 of them. And we're at nearly a minute and we're still at 2 volts. That was, I think that was a 26-minute charge at the higher charge voltage. So the cell's holding up to that higher charge voltage. Somewhat. It's going to dry it out faster, but it's not bad for those little carbon pads. Are still active. They were totally crispy around the outsides anyway. In the center was a little bit tacky, and it soaked up the electrolyte quite well, except for the plain membrane. The liquid sort of just sat on there for a while, and I had to rub it around, and it sort of slowly worked its way in. So the carbon's helping the electrolyte get through that membrane. And we're nearly at 2 minutes on 2 volts, that's good. The higher charge seems to retain its voltage for some reason. Could be doing something to the electrolyte. So we're still at our 0.6 watt, which ain't too bad. I've actually checked a couple of times to see if I've left the power supply on actually. They're not though. Got them here. You can't see them. You can just see that one. Sorry about that. I was doing the refractory. I had a mask on, but still. I got the bottom layer of the furnace done so far. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. Alright, I'll let that do its thing and I'll get back with an update. 23 minutes in on charge, discharge number 8, and it's holding voltage quite well, 1.342. Every time it drops it holds for a while. We're at 19 milliwatt hours already. Alright, I'll get back. Still on discharge number 8, and it's 1 volt, 36 minutes, 27 milliwatt hours. So it's about halfway. So it's looking quite impressive. For what it is, it's better than the zinc one, I reckon, because it's still going after the 8th charge. The zinc one ran out after like 3 or 4 charges. Alright, I'll report back when it's done. Okay, the cell's done quite well actually. We got to 39 milliwatt hours, 1 hour and 10 minutes, and we got 0.5 volts still. Seems to be holding quite well. but it's not going to add much more to this. It may clock it over to 40 milliwatt hours, but nothing more. The average voltage looks good, 1.12 over the period. Alright, I'll save this chart and I'll do another 26-minute charge at the same voltage and post them. I might be able to fit in a few more. It's 4 o'clock. May post it round about whenever. Okay. Just started charge number 9 and it was up near 400 milliamps this time. Or even more. There's the 500 milliamp mark. Discharge number 9 is looking good as well. We're at 0.07 watts. One up. It had a 28-minute charge. I got the charge curve. It was all ziggy. I think the electrolyte might be breaking down. Perhaps. We'll see. If it doesn't run as good, but it's looking quite well. Alright, this will be the last update. I think the little snippets have managed to get over a half hour's worth. So thanks for watching, and I'll post the tests. This is charge number 10. We're at 20 minutes, or nearly 21 minutes, and we started off at 450 milliamps, went all the way down to about 300 and something, 25, and it's slowly going back up. So I'll stop the charge there and do a discharge, I think. Okay, starting discharge number 10. This was a 21-minute charge. It had the weird charge curve, what went up in a U shape. Okay, I'll get back in an update.